Hi, I am going to go over some tips for getting a good seat and demonstrate some of the most common mistakes that people make when they are trying to get a good seat at first. And excuse the cartoons on in the background. I'm going to use my rainbow wrap because it's easier to tell which is the top rail, which is the bottom rail, and how much of a seat you're tucking under, so it's a good visual aid. So get your baby up onto your back however you prefer, hip scoot, Santa toss, or Superman toss. I prefer Superman toss because it gets her up higher on my back. Okay, so once you've got your baby up on your back, keep your hand on their butt, and what a lot of people's first inclination to do is to just pull. And if you just pull, you're going to lose the part that you need for your seat. So you don't want to pull the whole wrap. What you want to do is pin the top rails, which on my wrap is the red part, and you can pin it underneath your chin if it's shorter. Some people use their teeth. My wrap is a 4, so it's long enough to pin between my legs at this point. And you're going to pull just the bottom part. Hopefully she cooperates, since we're not really wrapping. She might get annoyed. And I'll demonstrate that again. So pull just the bottom part and tuck it up between the two of you. So you can see, based on the colors, how much I tucked up under there. And she's got a good seat now. She's high enough that she can see over my shoulder if I stand up. And she's got a good enough seat that she's not just going to pop it up randomly. So now, the next thing you need to do to make sure you get a good wrap is keep the top rail tight as you do your wrapping without pulling the whole thing out. So I'm just going to do a rough and make sure that I tighten strand by strand without yanking that bottom part out. And I'll wrap over the first leg, under the second leg, tuck it between my legs, and then same thing for the other side. Make sure I get this top piece tight. And it's easier if you're doing a ruck, but if you're doing more multi-pass carry where it might be lower on the back, it's even more important to make sure you get that top rail tight, because otherwise, when you stand up, they're going to be able to lean back, and you don't want that. It's not comfortable and it's not safe. So same thing, over first leg, under the second leg. And then, the last thing that you can do to get a good seat is whenever you get to the point where you're just getting ready to tie off whatever carry you're doing, you can sort of pull your two tails out and bounce them down a little bit. That'll bounce them down farther into the seat and get them into a good position. So then, since I'm doing just a ruck with a 4, I'm going to cross in front and just tie a knot in the back. But for a ruck, you can also tie under bum, just tie in front, or tie Tibetan, whichever works for you. And it's just long enough for me to do this, so. So there you go. So your tips, tighten your top rail so that you can pull the bottom rail up under their seat, but don't pull the whole thing. Make sure you do keep your top rail tight as you're tightening, or wrapping rather. And once you have it to the point where you're almost done except for tying off, give it a nice pull with the rails and bounce down into the seat. When you're finished, Knees should be higher than butt, and the wrap should go from knee to knee on your baby, which is what's great about wraps as opposed to Maytais or soft structured carriers, because a wrap can always go from knee to knee whether your baby is 2 days old or 5 years old. It's just a different, you just have to wrap it a little different. I don't know what I was trying to say. So there you go. Thanks.